up, y'all? It's me, Erica, and we are down here. Peace, y'all. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica, and we are down here, honey. We are down here to talk about P Valley. I do want to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I don't know if we're going to have time. We'll see, because P Valley was really good. I felt like girl, like I'm with the other people. Oh, he must have been drunk. He must have been drunk, honey, because the way he's parked, that's good. If you, baby, listen, I'm not above it. Listen, if you feel like you can't drive, you pull your ass over and take a nap. Take a goddamn nap, girl. Put your shit in park. Pull up in a parking lot. Hospitals are the best place to go. Hospitals, go to hospital. I mean, you can come to a parking lot, but if you could get in a parking lot and just park your car, if you that drunk, the way he's parked is like he's going out of the park. He's not in a parking space and his lights are on, so he must have been driving at night. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm gonna deduce it too. I'm gonna use my context clues. Come on, eyes. She's giving eyes. She's giving eyes today. So P Valley was good. No, what I was about to say about P Valley, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, let the people know you stopped by. What I was gonna say about P Valley was, bitch, Derek better go before grandma go. That's all I know. That's all I know. And baby, if Derek don't go before granny go, we gonna have a problem. It's going to be a problem. Cause I'm like, why is he still here? Bitch, when Autumn, I don't know what to call the girl, Lakeisha, Autumn, whatever her fucking name is, Haley, Brianna, Riri, whatever her name is, honey. When she walked up into Keyshawn's house, bitch, I thought it was about to go down. I'm looking for every opportunity, bitch. Take every opportunity to take that out. Take Derek out. He has got to go. Elimination, okay? Married to Medicine was good too, okay? Real Housewives was good too. I didn't take any notes for Real Housewives because we could just talk about Real Housewives because it's just like, it was just a clusterfuck. But anyways, let's talk about P Valley. I don't know what episode this is. Hold on, let me I don't really like to have the windows down because my luck, honey, bitch. I'm like Snow White. All the bees and the birds will start coming over here. The dragonflies and shit, the fucking crows and shit will start coming over here. So I don't like to put my window down because the bees will start coming every time. Listen, I'll be out on my balcony, right? Every time I'm just sitting there, relaxing or whatever, looking up at the sky, watching the birds fly by. All of a sudden, bzzz, I'm like, girl, why are you here every time I sit out here? Here come a damn bee, like a carpenter bee. Them black ones, I don't fuck around with them bees. I know they don't harm anybody. They just like to burrow in wood and stuff like that. They too loud. They got a fucking motor on them. I'm good. I'm going. I don't give a damn if you on the other side. Every time I'm like, okay, that's my cue, girl. I gotta go because it's too loud for me. That's too loud. You sound like a goddamn a motor. No, ma'am. I'd be like, that's how it be. Okay, that's enough. Uncle Clifford. We saw Uncle Clifford when she was a little girl, honey. Little Diva with her purse. She had her Gucci purse. Y'all saw her Gucci purse? It was cute. Ernestine was standing in front of the Pink. I'm standing on the landing of the Pink. She was having flashbacks of how she was in the club. They were singing "Till You Come Back to Me. That's what I'm gonna do." Sorry, I'm not a singer, honey. haven't had my honey and lemon yet. But she was singing "Till You Come Back to Me," right? So she was just having these flashbacks of Lil Clifford running around the club and Little Clifford's mom, Beulah, I think that's what her name is. Little Clifford's mom, Beulah. And then, she sees this woman coming out of the back in white, and she has a drink in her hand, And she says, come on, Ernestine. Come on, mama. I think she said, come on, mama. She said, because it's time. It's time to go. Come on, and have a drink. And she was like, no, not now. And then she was like going through it, and she was like, hey. You saw Chris Brown hugging dark skinned girls? Okay, they had to pay though. The woman in white was Uncle Clifford's mom, and so Ernestine said she is not taking. Don't take no drinks from the dead. Don't take no food or drinks from the dead, baby, because that's a sign, honey. She's like, I can't take it. No, I'm not ready. It's not now. So I'm trying to figure out what she's waiting for. I don't know what she's waiting for, but I feel like Grandma got a life insurance policy that's going to allow Clifford to come out on top. That's how I feel. I feel like that. Okay, so anyway, so Autumn and Clifford. Okay, so they're talking. They're in the club talking, and Autumn is talking about how she bought history and this and that, and no, Clifford is telling Autumn how she bought history, and she's like, this is more than just a club for me. This is but where I grew up. This is everywhere. Just reminiscing, and this is my history. This is part of who I am, and it's about me too. You know what I'm saying? And so Autumn was like, we have to be worried about the future as well. She said, you're not going to talk me out of, you're not going to talk me out of trying to sell this property. And then Clifford was like, it's all I have. And she said that the price of the land, she got them to get up to $5 million. Uncle Clifford was like, bitch, what? Wait, no, but wait. But wait a minute. But for real, bitch, what? She was like, but I didn't accept it. She was like, bitch, what? No. She was like, no, because I want $10 million for this. I want $10 million. You lost the money. I lost all the money that I had to make a new life for me and my daughter. And I owe it to my daughter. And Clifford said, that baby gone. You know what you doing, girl. So she wants to do that for her daughter. And so then Mercedes was on the phone with Shell, and she's asking her if Tarika can stay longer. She's asking her what is she going to do about this pregnancy, right? Child, I was so annoyed that Tarika's stomach was getting bigger throughout the episode. Tarika's stomach was getting bigger throughout the episode. It was making me nervous, bitch. Bitch, she's not gonna make it in time, even though it's one day. But that's that visual of her stomach getting bigger. I'm like, no, wait a minute. You can't do it like that. That's throwing me off. That stomach was throwing me off. I was thinking like, she's not gonna make it in time. Girl's been one day. Erica, relax. So she was talking about she's having some cravings and they're gonna go to TCBY. She was like, okay. So she was like, what you gonna do about this? And she don't know what she gonna do. When I tell you Tarika was getting on my damn nerves, I was like, girl, please make a decision. I love at the end how what they did. And I felt like I was on the right track with what Mercedes did with her daughter. Even though I was so frustrated that entire time, I'm like, girl, make a decision. Who's gonna do what? And it's like, girl, okay, so she's 14 or 15. Bitch, when they was driving down the street, she was like, Mercedes was like, how come his ass didn't take you? Oh, I forgot. He can't drive. It's true. And that's why it's so important to talk to 14, 13, 14, 15-year-old children about sex, because it baffles me, because I remember being in school and hearing the people talk about having sex. So I know, as an adult, I know when my children get the age that I remember children were starting to talk about sex, we gonna start talking about that sex around that time too. You can't forget when you were a child. That's the weirdest shit to me. How parents and adults, it's almost like it's no recollection of childhood, even though all of your mannerisms and part of your personality comes from your childhood, and y'all act like you were never children. And then you act like you can't talk to these children about sex when your ass was fucking at 16. So I'm trying to understand, what's going on. Why don't you talk to them so they don't end up in predicaments like this? She could either end up with a STD, STI. She's pregnant. Now they driving down the street. That was so funny. She was like, I forgot he can't even drive, girl. But I caught on to what they did. Anyway, Lil Murder, Marcus. I didn't know that was his name. Did y'all know that was his name? She said she liked Lil Murder better. Baby, when Uncle Clifford called Lil Murder little calculator. Bitch. She said, yeah, that's good, little calculator. Little calculator figured that out so fast. Come on, little calculator. So Lil Murder was in there tending to Ernestine, right? Ernestine is in there coughing. First, before that, Little Murder was on the couch reminiscing, just having all these flashbacks of Teak and everything, just going through it and processing everything and grieving his friend, or his friend, his close friend, lover, I don't know what to call his friend, just his friend, shit. And he was sitting there crying, and then Ernestine started coughing, and when she started coughing, then he got up and he tended to her. And she kept saying, I can't take nothing from the dead. No, don't listen to these people. And I love how, because your grandmother, like, listen to me when I say this, your grandmother may have said things that had nothing to do with nothing, but when you look back, it comes from like a hoodoo tradition. It does, and it comes from from the South too. So that's what I love about that, because my grandmother used to say different things, and I used to be like, "What does she mean by don't sweep over someone's feet?" And you're thinking they're superstitions. These people got you thinking your culture and the things that your grandmother would say. Oh, you just being superstitious. Walking down the street, don't split a pole with my grandmother. Do not split poles. Anybody else? Do not split poles with my grandmother. She don't play that shit either. My other grandmother, don't sweep over the feet. Don't sweep. Don't wash clothes. On the last day of the year. All of these things mean something, and they're rooted in something. When you listen to old women say, "Don't take nothing in your sleep. Don't take nothing. Don't take nothing for eat and drink from the dead." You better listen to them. I'm telling you, and you think about the little things that your grandmother said and your great aunts and stuff like that, and you dismiss them as superstitions. No, honey, they telling you how to walk through your culture and how to walk through this lifestyle, what it was, and it's been passed down. Listen. I loved it. She said, don't take nothing from the dead, okay? She said, what she said about the chicken being gone, I don't know why I wrote that. Take me, she said, so she said, oh, the chicken gonna take me. The chicken gonna take me. Little Clifford. Uncle Clifford made Ernestine some chicken, and she said the chicken was gonna take her. So Lil Murder made all this stuff and all this plate greens. It was some yams on the plate. It was something else on the plate, but he had made, I don't know what he had made, but anyways, she said it was good. Chef Negro D. She said, you keep doing like this, an old bitch is going to be used to having you around. Oh, grandma. She's like, I'm not the old bitch. I'm talking about. She said, and then Lil Murder said, put in a word for me. And then Ernestine said, I smelled death the other night when you came on the door. That's why she called her dad. She smelled death. She said, you had all that blood on you. And he was just looking like, dang, like, but no, but it's, when you lose one sense, it is said that your other senses or another sense will be heightened. And of course, smelling, that would be the next thing, right? If you can't see, smelling, how do you remember things smell like? It's all blood, all that blood, she said. I was like, ooh, she don't have to see to know. Okay. Derek and Keyshawn are at the grocery store, all frustrated. The way that they make them, the energy around them, just this chaotic, even though it's not chaos, even though they're like calm, he seems like a fucking tornado. It's like this. Like he's just whirling. That's his energy. He's a good actor because he gets on my nerve. He makes me nervous. Like just his energy. It's just like he's just like a tornado, but he's not even doing none of that. But that's what it looks like to me. And Keyshawn is just looking there like a old little a bird with a broken wing. She can't get out. She's sitting there, and then she sees Haley in the corner, right? He's telling her that, they can go out to the outlets. I guess he's trying to be nice because he had beat her up again. Her eye was all black and blue. Her face was bruised, and she says, you didn't use that. She's like, oh, I gotta go to the makeup counter or whatever. So he goes to the front to check out, and she sees her over there in the makeup area, and she says she tried to get out. She said, I see you didn't use that gun I gave you. And she was like, no, I tried, but I can't. She starts making all these excuses because it's crazy, because I think what a lot of people in these types of situations, they grapple with the idea of their children not having a father. And I think that's what a lot of people go back and forth with. But, you know, he's probably more useful dead. You'll have a different life. The children will not know violence and terror and chaos and their mother being consistently abused. They won't know that. So he's probably more valuable. Delete it. And if they delete Granny before they delete Derek, okay, I got my picket sign ready, okay? Clifford comes in and calls, where Grandma, little homicide? So stupid. And then she was like, wait a minute, maybe we got carbon monoxide. Let me tell you something. The way that Clifford just goes from zero to the worst, everything is like all automatically, she thinks the worst of everything, right? So she puts on her mask and she's looking for little homicide and Grandma. And Grandma's laying down, and she says, starts asking Little Murder all these questions, right? And then he was like, no, I did everything on the list. And then they go in the kitchen, and Uncle Clifford is eating Little Murder's food, right? This was a good episode. It's a good episode. Okay, so they said that down, little calculator, he comes up, it was 1.65 million that Uncle Clifford would get if they sell the pink for 5 million. And then she says that, but she wants to hold out for more or whatever. Autumn, Lakeisha, Rihanna, whatever her name is. And are those Tina Snow royalties coming in or whatever? And she asked him how he was doing, and he said he was all right. And she said, well, I heard you crying in your sleep. And he was like, no, that was no. I'm still a man, honey. I don't cry, honey. That's so sad. You know what? I really want more just men in general. I don't give a damn what your sexuality is. Just be more in, like, I know it's hard because this world that was created for men really doesn't, it hurts them in a lot of ways, especially in the emotion department and the mental health department. These performances of masculinity are so detrimental. They are. You can't even cry. Your friend shot himself in the head in front of your ass. That's why I loved when he came to the porch and was like, I'm not okay. Just saying that. A lot of these niggas need to be like, listen, I am not okay. Because a da 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 da. Instead of like pushing everything down and not crying and only being, in relationship with anger. That's the only thing you know how to do is be angry. That shit is killing y'all. It really is, because it's not only manifesting in like how you deal with other men, it's manifesting how you deal with other women, like other people, but it's manifesting internally in your bodies. As I speak, there's this big black man. He's walking by my car. He's walking. He's getting his exercise. He's the second black man. The other black man is over there. They by themselves. They're walking. He's a big brother too. Big dude. Big dude. He looked like what's his name from Tyler Perry, the little old man, the little old man with the bald head with the suspenders and stuff, shaped just like that. The things that y'all need to exercise, y'all need to go to the doctor. The performance of masculinity is unhealthy at this point, okay? To the point where you can't even cry. Your friend done shot his ass in the head, and you can't cry, and you afraid to cry, and you have to cry alone. That's for the birds. Even Uncle Clifford in the shower crying, because she know Ernestine is on her way out, and all they could do is prepare and make it a comfortable transition. That's all you can do. You cannot keep people from dying. That's just what it is. You can't. And for what? Okay, anyways, I don't know where I went with that, but I'm tired of these men not being able to cry and have to cry in the shower and shit like that, and cry alone and cry on the couch and cry in a car. He gonna cry in a car and all this other stuff. That's not a life. That's not a life. Mercedes and Tarika passed the TCBY. How far along are you? She doesn't know. She doesn't have any idea about her period. That's another thing. A lot of girls, their mothers failed in that area too. They just tell them, here, stick these up your twat and put a damn pad on, and there you go. They're not telling you nothing. They not, and then not, even not even being empathetic to like cramps and stuff like that. I've heard stories of women and their mothers when it comes to the period, and how just like no education whatsoever, just you're left to your own devices. You start your period, your mom tells you, here, put this on, do this with that, and that's it. That's all she tells you. And if you have a cramp or a period, cramps and stuff, if you're one of those people who have cramps, they're like, you'll get over it, don't worry about it, and all this other stuff. Just like detached. It's so crazy. It is so crazy to me. It is so crazy to me. So she don't know when her period, so she don't know how far along she is or whatever. You were running out of time. She was like, and then, they tried to stick in, they tried to stick it in like black women and the mortality rates, and how, in hospitals and in pregnancies, a lot of black women are dying. It's ridiculous in 2022. But there's a lot of things that go along with that. There's a lot of racial undertones that go along with that. A lot of tropes that align with how black women are treated in a medical space, in a hospital setting, and during their pregnancy. So they tried to put that in there by mentioning Beyonce and Serena had difficult pregnancies, almost died during their pregnancies or whatever. So, but when you're talking, this is why I don't understand. Like when I listen to predators and they talk about, when girls start their periods, they're able to get pregnant, and it's like, the body, just because that thing starts happening, and that can happen as a result of the period coming, does not mean that the body is ready to hold a child. And I'm glad that Mercedes said your hips aren't even ready to hold a child. Like, you're not ready to do that. And so when I hear like weirdos say stuff about little girls starting their periods and they're ready to be pregnant, so that means that they're ready to be adults and all this other, weird shit I hear you niggas saying, and women, I hear y'all saying crazy shit. That does not mean, just because it can happen, doesn't mean that it should happen and that the child's body is prepared to carry another human being. I don't know why y'all be saying weird shit like that. And I'm so glad that whoever wrote that line that Mercedes said about the hips not being ready to carry a child, shout out to the writer who did that, because that's the thing that I be thinking about all the time. Like, the body is not even developed. It's not even finished developing. I don't understand you niggas. It's not even finished developing. The brain is not finished developing. That's not a position for a girl, a little girl at all, 14. And then you have these laws that are telling you that the little girls can't get the abortions. It's crazy. The shit is crazy. So I'm glad. And then the misinformation. If I get an abortion, I'm gonna get cancer. The misinformation that shows that she's not being educated. Because, okay, you live in a small town, y'all bored or whatever, and the kids start fucking at 14 and 15 years old. Okay, we're not gonna act like that doesn't happen all throughout the country, rural areas. Come on, we're not gonna act like that, right? They're missing the education that, oh, they don't even think that, okay, if something happens and I do mess up, or I don't have a condom and I mess up and I get pregnant, I don't have an option to have an abortion, because somebody done told her ass that if you have an abortion, you're going to get cancer. That's why sex education is so important. That's why I love this show, because it's just touching on everything, just everything, right? So they passed the TCBY, and I'm like, and I was with Mercedes because I'm glad that she was like, we're going to go get a consultation so we can see what your options are. Okay, fine. Lil Murder gets a call from Wody. He says, we got to go back on tour. Who are we going to have for security? They have that little conversation. And I think the conversation went to how they were going to bury Teak, or how that was going to happen. But I couldn't understand what they were saying, and the stream that I was watching didn't have closed captions. So, then Uncle Clifford is in the shower. She gets out of the shower. She goes into the room, and you can hear Cisco, right, playing, because earlier there was a joke that Lil Murder, if he knew who Cisco was, right? So you can hear thong, 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 thong in the back. Look at the little doggies. That's so cute. Look at that little one. The way that it runs, because the legs are so little. They are so cute. They come out walking in the morning. I love to see the couples walking with their animals or their children. Okay, anyways, so Uncle Clifford comes back in the room after taking a shower, and Lil Murder is in there with all these clothes on, these purple pants, some kind of robe, and a boa on, and they're playing around, laughing and stuff, and laughing about how Uncle Clifford thought that Lil Murder didn't know who Cisco was or whatever. Baby, I really thought that Lil Murder was going to be in there dancing like Cisco. When I heard she got dumps like a truck, I was like, is he going to be in there dancing? His hair is already blonde. So funny. And so then we see her Gucci purse, and she was like, I have had this since I was 3 years old. And that's when they kind of get into that conversation, and Little Murder's like, well, how long have you been like that? Like, you've been carrying a purse since you was 3? Like, and then another thing, he was probably wondering, like, damn, they allowed you to express yourself like that, because a lot of little boys are not allowed to express themselves. Even the straight little boys, they can't even wear a goddamn pink ladybug costume, and they daddies is acting crazy about it. They can't express themselves. When I tell you, the performance of masculinity does such a disservice to boys, and I think a lot of men I see a shift. A lot of men are understanding how it's actually killing them. It's starting from the inside out. They are getting sick. And then with everything else, they in the hospitals, in these homes, dying alone. Girl, it's a mess. It's a mess. So he was like, what are you? Uncle Clifford said, I'm Little Clifford. What are you? He says, the world won't let me be who I want to be. And when I tell you, for straight and gay, non-binary, everybody that is either born with a penis, identifies as male, identifies as straight, the performance of masculinity doesn't allow these men to express themselves. They are not even allowed to be their true selves because they have to keep up a facade, because y'all hate femininity so much. Y'all hate for men to express femininity so much. You hate when women express femininity too. You do. There is a disdain for the feminine, and it creates an imbalance. And when you become this hyper masculine man and you have to perform these things in your community where being gay or liking boys is it's like a death sentence for these children, and they grow up in society, and y'all really harm each other that way. You do. You do. Your performance of masculinity is killing y'all. It is. Everything from the way y'all treat each other, to the way you treat women, to the way you treat children, to the way you express yourselves. You guys walk around with an understanding that even correcting another man, there could be a threat of violence. Rejecting a man is a threat of violence. Expressing femininity in a man is a threat of violence. It's a wrap for you. And the world won't let me be who I am. And y'all spend your days, I see y'all in digital spaces trying to push people into boxes they don't want to be in, they don't need to be in, they don't have to be in. And why are you running around town enforcing people to be placed in chains and boxes to make you comfortable about whatever idea you have of the world? It's lonely to shine so bright. Sometimes it's lonely to shine so bright. Being yourself could be a lonely place because everybody wants you to be who they want you to be for their comfort level through the eyes of the world that they want to see. He said, ain't no passing with me. You're not going to be able to pass. You're not going to be able to pass for straight. And that's another thing. Ladies, women, straight women, when I tell you to listen to gay men who are passing and who can pass as straight, when they are sitting among straight men, they hear the way they talk about y'all. So sometimes you should listen, because they're in spaces with these men, unknowing that these men are gay, and they hear the way they talk about women. Barbershop is the perfect place. They hear. I asked my sons, do they have inappropriate conversations in the barbershop? He said, no, most of the people are in their phones or watching TV. I was like, good, because I stopped going up there because they're 13 and 15. What am I going up there for? I've been going up there since they was like 12. Go up there. I sit in the park. I'm not sitting amongst men in a barbershop. I'm good. But I know how the conversations go. And don't let it be an empty chair that don't nobody rent, a booth, and that old bitter black man with the ash right in here giving advice on women and talking about women in the most disgusting ways. These gay men are passing as straight, and they hear the conversation. So be mindful and don't discredit when you hear, when gay men get into women's space and you don't know what you talking about, how you talking about, they hear the way men talk about y'all. I'm just letting y'all know. So sometimes their word, you don't know, you can't speak on heterosexual relationships. Okay. You're like literally missing out on good, valuable information about how people view y'all. But anyway, ain't no passing with me, right? They hear a noise, sound like somebody jumped up. Girl, this is too long. Jumped up, and grandma done ran out the house, honey. She's down by the river, down by the Mississippi River. They find her. She wants to go into the water, right? She's saying basically it's time. Let me go, let me go. She they thought she was out there. I said, oh, she gonna be in there in the water swimming, but she's blind, child. So they ran, they grab her, and then Lil Murder goes to the river and puts the river, like the water, over her face. All this symbolism, honey. It's this is such a good show. So they get her up and take her back to the house, and then the ambulance is there, and they take Ernestine back in the ambulance. And then did you hear at that moment when the EMT referred to Clifford as sir, and Lil Murder corrected the EMT and said, ma'am? Did you see that? I'm really excited to see how this is going to play out, because that's a huge conflict with down low men who literally want to come out. They're not reveling in the deceptiveness. Some of them do want to come out and live, but they know how society is going to treat them. And that's why a lot of women get upset with DL men. It's like, you can't live in your truth. But do you see how people are treated who live in their truth? It's ugly. It gets real ugly. Y'all get ugly with people who live in their truth. Y'all get real ugly. So you think a man who wants access to you and to other men is going to be honest with you? It gets ugly. And I know it's deceptive and I know it's wrong, but you gotta step back and be like, I understand it's wrong, but I understand. I understand why they do what they do. It gets ugly, and y'all know it does, cause y'all be getting ugly in the comments. I see y'all. I be seeing y'all. Tarika and Mercedes arrived to the abortion place, to the Planned Parenthood. They had all the protesters out there. She said, honey, them pro-lifers don't give a damn when the baby is born. I'm glad she said that. Whoever wrote that part in the damn script is, shout out to you. Because we already see how it goes. How the fuck you making people have babies and the formula, and they're only limiting people? I saw a sign the other day in the grocery store. 2 things of formula per person. What? And you're not letting the people have abortions, but you can't feed these babies? What is the truth? What is the truth? I'm glad she said it too. He ain't even old enough to drive. Right. She says they were sitting at a pool or something, and she is watching these women, run after their children. And she was like, that's what you want to do? So the little girl is talking about all these things with the boy, and they love each other, and they're going to start a family at 14 and 15 years old. Do you understand how ridiculous that sounds? It's just, oh, we're going to start a family. We're going to take care of each other. You're going to be struggling. He loves me, and you're just jealous. Mercedes slapped her. Mercedes slapped her in the face. You know how many times, girl, you know how many times I've been slapped in the face sitting in the passenger seat of a car? My mother done slapped me. And she said it. She looked out the window. She said, when I have a daughter, I'm not going to slap her. And then Mercedes said, I said the same thing. That's like a generation, like, whoop. You see how it went? She said the same thing. And when they showed that clip of Mercedes and Patrice in the damn diner, and Patrice started whooping on her after she found out she was having sex for money, I think, from Cortez. She whooped her. And then, but what's crazy was she was literally about to pawn her off on another man. So it like that to me? I was like, I didn't understand. It's like, basically I can pimp you out. But when you start doing it on your own, now I'm beating you. Like, it was almost like a pimp thing. Did anybody else get that? I was like, why is she beating her like that? And then it's like this mother-daughter thing. It's like that has to be discussed. You know what I'm saying? And just that cycle, that generation, like, I said the same thing. And then they show her mother like beating on her. And then you end up slapping your daughter. And then you have your pregnant 14-year-old daughter right here looking out the window saying she's not going to do that to hers. And I said to myself, I hope she has an abortion, because no, that can't happen. And that at that moment, I was like, no, you need to break the cycle immediately, because it was a cycle playing out. The mother, you right? The mother, Patrice hitting the girl, Patrice hitting Mercedes hitting Tarika, but Tarika in the same position that she was in, and her mother made her have the baby, So that's why I thought it was so important that she allowed Tarika to get into the driver's seat, and you make the decision. And she made her allowing her to make the decision was the break in that cycle, because Patrice didn't allow her daughter to make her decision, and it completely changed her life. She didn't allow it. Now, that's where people were probably going to go back and forth, because she is not an adult. But I think that's where you go back and forth, because it is her body. You're going to allow her to, even though like, girl, that's how I was sitting there. I was like, okay, this is the dilemma, right? She's 14 years old. She's not an adult. And that's the one thing that I remember T.I. saying that about his daughter. When you have sex, that's when you're an adult. No, you're not an adult when you start having sex. You're just a teenager exploring your sexuality and your body and other people's bodies. It doesn't mean that you're an adult. Yes, because of the consequences and the repercussions of having sex may mean that now you have adult responsibilities. That is why education is so important. So these kids are safe while they're exploring their bodies and exploring each other safely, with knowledge and understanding what could happen as a result. I'm just saying, I think the way that we approach sex, when we know we're all here because somebody was fucking, for us to be so like hush hush about it, and then and then seeing the repercussions of not educating and still not educating after you see the repercussions of it, it baffles me. It baffles me. That's why you want to take sex education out of school. Your parent, they're not really talking, and I'm not talking about all of y'all, but a majority of parents are not comfortable with talking to their children. So to me, I feel like an educator would be the perfect person to do that. And then you don't have to be embarrassed about it. You have an educator. Just ask them, what are you going to be teaching them? But y'all don't want to teach the kids about sex, but then be like, okay, well, now you're an adult because you done had sex, and now you're pregnant and you're an adult, so you got to get out. What? What the hell? That don't go to me. She's 14 weeks and 4 days. She decided, she said the door is closing. Bitch, when she was at the pool, she said, what you looking at, R. Kelly? Bitch, I hollered. Yes, you pervert. Call him out. If you had a crystal ball, she's looking at the people running around with their children or whatever. What does Tarika want? That's what I wrote right here. I felt like they shouldn't have shown her the sonogram. I was like, why did they show her that big ass baby in that sonogram? Girl, that's not out. No, that's what was fucking with me. And I don't know if that was intentional, because the stomach was getting bigger. I know it was only one day, but I was like, girl, this is a mess. I can't take it anymore. I cannot take it anymore. What happened after that? Yeah, she sees herself in the mirror. Mercedes sees Patrice in the mirror. You're looking at yourself. What are you going to do? Are you going to be your mother? Are you going to be your mother, or are you going to do something different? And what you're going to do different is going to set the course for this girl's life. And it's going to break a chain. It's going to break a chain. So what do? Do you do what Mercedes is going to do, or are you going to do what your mother did and make her have this baby, or make her have an abortion? So she gives Tarika the keys, and she lets Tarika decide. And that is what broke the cycle. That, in my opinion, is what broke the cycle. Allowing Tarika to make the decision. So let her go. She went to Jacksonville. I said, she better take her ass to Jacksonville. Girl, baby, when I tell you I had my anxiety was up. Because 14, girl, absolutely not. But all of those things, you thinking about all those things, like this is her body. But you got to think about what you guys failed to do. Why she's in this predicament. You guys have something to do with that, right? All of y'all, Shell, all of y'all has something to do with that. Everything has something to do with this girl's existence. All of this. So what are you going to do? Girl, they showed her that sonogram. I was like, oh, hell no. Look at that big ass baby in there. And she was like, and then it was graphic. She was like, what are you going to do? You're going to suck it out? And she was like, letting her know. And she was like, okay. And then I said, oh, why did they show her the sonogram? Girl, what? Her pants were getting smaller, right? So she allowed her to make the decision. And sometimes they use the devil to give you a blessing, okay? Clifford was in the shower crying. That's when you hear Cisco. I skipped a scene. I was conflating scenes, honey. Anyway, so you hear Cisco, and Lil Murder got on Clifford's clothes, and he said, "You gonna show me how to do the Machiavelli, girl?" So stupid. So the condom. Okay, so Uncle Clifford says, "Get a condom," and Lil Murder says, "No." Oh, girl, I said no. I was like, "No, please, no." I was like, "No." I wrote no right here. Like, no, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. No, 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 no. I don't care. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, but that's your choice. That's what you do. You take the risk. That's on you. Okay. Because he said he wanted to feel her inside of him. I said, okay. I said, oh, I said, oh. It took me. I said, wait a minute. I rewound it. I kept rewinding it. I rewound it so many times because I was like, did he say what I think he said? I want to feel you inside of me. And then, okay, so then they started doing it, right? Okay, then they started doing it. They got the lube and everything. And then I'm, because these people are walking by, I'm trying to contain myself. And then Lil Murder said, fill me up, nigga. I said, come on, stars. Yes. Baby, I was getting my life. I rewound that part so many times. I was like, wait, no. I said, wait. Oh my God, what is going on, girl? I was so excited. I feel like screaming to the top of my lungs. He said, what? I said, did he say he wanted to feel him inside him? Did he want to okay. I said, is that what's going on? What's going on? Fill me up, nigga. That's what I wrote, right? And then after they was done doing it, they was laying in the bed or whatever. And then Lil Murder was starting to cry again. And Uncle Clifford was like, just, let it out, girl. Then we see an ad for Woodbine running for mayor, child. Okay. She said, am I going to burn in hell? Because she had her abortion or whatever. She goes, I'm going to burn in hell. She said, if you are, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there with you, right? Autumn shows up at Keyshawn's house, and you hear Derek at the door talking about, do I know you? Do I know you? And she was like, she came in, and baby, if they tell this baby one more crazy ass bedtime story, girl. But in real life, if you listen to bedtime stories, and the little songs that you sing, lullabies, they're really terrible. If you listen to the lyrics of lullabies, they're tragic as hell. What is it? On the treetop, when the wind blows, the cradle will rock. the cradle will, and the baby will break the bow. How does the rockabye baby on the treetop? When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. If the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, both cradle and all. The baby died. But the baby is dead. Jack and Jill went up a hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown. And Jill said, bitch, they done fell down the hill and died. They done broke their bodies, their body parts. Lullabies are really bad. Y'all ever notice that? Girl, so they telling this child another fucking bedtime, crazy ass bedtime story about the tears drowning the baby, and she waited too long to get out of the situation, and the tears that she was crying, she should have left. Basically was her story. She told it in a bedtime story to the baby, and she said she waited too long and her tears drowned her baby, and she told Keyshawn, when you ready to swim, let me know so you can get the fuck up out of here, because girl, this ain't it. This ain't it. This is not life. And how many times? So we're gonna see how many times the other day I said, I really think that Keyshawn is gonna be the one, because that would just tear everybody up. But that would be like crazy. But I really hope Derek goes. I really hope he goes. I really hope he goes. So we'll see. Just let me know when you're ready to swim. Fill me up, nigga. I want to feel you inside of me. I said, oh, is that what's going? That was a good episode. What did y'all think? That was a long review. I'm about to go. This is 54 minutes. This makes absolutely no sense. Anyways, y'all take care of each other. It was really good. It was really good because I watched Clifford and Lil Murder so many times. I was like, what did he say? I love it. I love it. I love every minute of it. Take care of each other and protect your energy. Peace.